Okay, y'all. So this is how I feel about the situation. First of all, anybody that's connected to a lot of stories where they know went upside woman head really couldn't tell me nothing. That's number one. Okay. I told y'all I'm really big on putting a X on guys that put their hands on women. Okay. Um, I know how it feels to go against a dude. All right. And it's not no game. It's not no game. It's it's not no game. Okay. I never been in, I can't say the word. I know YouTube is funny about it. I never been in a relationship where a guy has put his hands on me. But I have been in situations where I went up against guys. Okay? And it's not no game. Okay? I told y'all about growing up, how how some of the guys can be very immature, and I told y'all about the time I was in the gym and me and the guy got into it and he dunked me on my head. I told y'all about the time I was in an alternative school and the guy kept pushing on me and I hit him back, and then he stole off on me so hard, my jaw. It felt like I couldn't feel my jaw the rest of the day. Well, nothing wrong with it. Just that's how hard he had hit me. Right? Because I'm not one of the females that I'ma just keep letting you hit me. You know what I'm saying? Just keep letting you hit me. And I knew I couldn't beat him. But I'm like, I got to a point, I'm like, look, So I told y'all about that and everybody was laughing. I remember, I never forget it, one particular girl, she said, that girl got hard. She got hard. Um, I remember one time that I was fighting this girl. This not the bus story time, but um I was fighting this girl and her cousin didn't like the way it was going. So he picked up my purse and he threw it. That's gonna be another story time for another day. You know, just the list goes on. I told y'all about the Chinese restaurant earlier this year, the road rage situation. Those are just a couple of situations where it was me up against a man. Okay? So when I see stuff like that, it's kind of, I'm going to just say it. Whenever I see a person that is known for putting their hands on women, or if I know for a fact they don't mind coming at a woman, I'm going to just be honest. I feel like it's necessary for us to throw them away. It's necessary. I feel like Suge is the type of person, I do think he's evil. It's certain stories that I tell y'all about, or I'm sure y'all may hear about them. Very rare do I say, do I, absolutely positively feel that the person is evil. I do feel Suge is evil. This is not the first time that we have heard about him putting his hands on a woman, or him, just, okay, I'll give you an example. We all heard about the little stories back in the day, right? But other than this Akon situation, I heard another radio personality. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about. He was telling her a story where I guess they were out at a club or something, and the guy must have spoke on him or said something about him. So his guys came over there and forced themselves on him, if you know what I mean. And when she said that, you know, it was kind of weird a little bit, to be honest, for me. Because for one thing, I wasn't used to hearing nothing like that. I only hear about stuff like that when it comes to like prison story times. We not all heard about them prison story times. But it was weird to me that, first of all, how did he know where the dude stayed? Like, did he know the dude from around the way? Or the next thing for me was, to Suge, I was saying to myself, that didn't really stand out to you, that you had buddies that didn't mind having sex with a man. I mean, I'm not saying that it's weird or anything. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it if that's what the person chooses to do. Okay, so don't try to act like I'm judging people, because I told y'all about the Walmart story time. Okay, so don't do that. But I'm just saying, like, he seemed like the type of person that wouldn't be cool with a man having sex with another man. But then again, I told y'all before, in my opinion, what made it kind of believable to me, just to be honest, was the fact that I feel majority of the guys, I want to say, in my opinion, 95% of the men out here that go up against women, I feel they are in a closet. I do. That's my humble opinion. I feel that damn near every man or dude, because I told y'all before, I don't feel like a man and a dude is the same thing. Just like I don't feel that men and the N-word are the same thing. I don't. That's just how I feel. But anyway, I feel majority of the guys like that put their hands on women have had some type of encounter with a man. I do. Even if it ain't nothing but them receiving from another dude. I do. That's just how I feel. Now, I don't know if it's true what he's saying about Akon. Now, I know a lot of people were saying Akon ain't that type of dude. Akon ain't that type of dude in the comments. A lot of people weren't believing it. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. As much as I feel Suge is full of it, and I feel like as a society we need to just put an X on him and just go on about our life, I feel like that about, I just told y'all, majority of the guys that put their hands on women. I just feel that about majority of them. Not just him. Any guy. The guy from the Chinese restaurant I told y'all about. The gym situation I told you about. This, I feel like that about people like that. Because in none of those stories, not one of them, did I ever put my hands on them first. So I just feel like, now I think it's different when you the type of woman that you think, oh, I'll fight a man. I'm not saying it's justified when they put their hands on you, but as we all know, it's just not a good idea to be coming out here thinking you can beat one, because it's not like a female where, it's not the same. It's not the same. Their strength is not our strength. So it's not the same. And I always tell people, I caught my little cousin saying it the other day, I'll fight a guy, I don't care. And I told her, I said, listen here, you can say that now. And then she said, I beat one up the other day. I said, he let you win. Okay? And like I told her, you cannot beat a man. I'm not the type that's going to tell my cousins when I start having children, I'm not going to let my girls grow up thinking that it's cute or they have the strength to go toe to toe with a dude, because you don't. You don't. But what I will do is teach my girls how to you know, be safe. You know, I would tell them little things that they need to know. Do you know, I never been in a relationship where I've had people go outside my head, but I will tell them, you know, little stuff that they got to be leery of when they come in contact with certain guys. You know, stay away from the loud ones, the ones that's always rolling their eyes. You know, I was just telling somebody the other day, one thing I have seen in common with every single one of those guys that I just told y'all about, they all had a slick mouth. The ones that don't mind cursing at women and calling them bitches and, you know, the little stuff that I would tell my girls. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to let them grow up thinking that, yeah, I get them, you know, because the reality of the situation is if you don't have a pow pow, no, you won't. Because you cannot always depend on the police to come to your rescue. Yeah, you can call them, but you gotta, you know, I told y'all after the Chinese restaurant, that's when I started to get, let's just say, a concealed carry. Because you know, up until then, I told y'all I didn't believe in them. But that situation told me that as a woman, you need to, you know. But nonetheless, back to this. I'm not gonna say what Suge is saying is true or false. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that because sometimes even the villain can tell the truth. Okay. Suge is one of those people that, you know who Suge remind me of? Suge is that one person, we all know people like that from high school that really ain't make nothing out of themselves, but the only thing they got to tell is stories of who was whack back in the day, who won't popular, who won't lit. Suge is that person. I don't know his education level. I from Adam or Eve. I'm just saying he reminds me of that person because the reason why I made that comparison, the only stories he has is shit from back in the day. What's it called? Death Row Records. It's like he one of them people that ain't did really shit else after high school. For real, for real. So the only thing he got to talk about is old high school stories. I got a couple of family members like that. I actually pulled one of my family members' card the other day. I told her, I said, is that the only shit you got to talk about? Some shit with I had all the clothes. I had all this. Okay. What's this? Back in the 80s? The 90s? You ain't had nothing else to happen after high school good to you. She want popular and she want this and she want that. And one of the girls that she had the nerve to talk about turned out to be a doctor. I'm like, and what about you? You know? So I don't like people like that. That's the only thing you got to talk about is, and I don't know. She came back and said, well, you just mad because you want that girl in high school. I said, so? And half them bitches on drugs, got 5, 6 kids, ain't been to nobody college, on the welfare, on food stamps. If I had a choice to change places with them and they be me and I be them, I would say, hell fuck no. Hell fuck no. Because out of my whole student body, only about 3 or 4 of us actually went to college and actually finished. Not just went, actually finished. You think I want to beat them just because they were lit in high school? Hell fuck no. What did you do after school? And the same thing with Suge. At the Death Row Records or wherever you was doing, or, you know, I'm not familiar with the bad boy. As you can see, I'm not for the bad boys at all. I had somebody tell me, you like the Steve Urkels. If that's the way you want to put it, they not perfect either, but I mean, is it after the Tupac and Biggie day, did you do anything else positive? That's the point. Okay, I heard him in the interview say that Akon was a cornball. Okay? I mean, is that all you got? Really? Akon a cornball. Next. I mean, it's giving you was that guy back then. But look at you now. Talking about you got a podcast. Then I heard somebody say that it's a collect call podcast. Like, people really listening to that shit? He would get mad at me because I would tell him, I would say, I don't want to hear about your days when you was that dude back in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, what do you have positive to tell me? Like, what do you have positive? I don't want to hear nothing about you beating up somebody behind a club. Like, about your respect, about your hood. Like, I don't want to hear that. Anything else positive? I don't want to hear nothing about you had to slap a hoe for stepping out of line. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm not that girl that's gonna sit here and listen to your bad boy stories. Like, anything else? Anything else? You saying that Akon tried to, get off on some young girls back in the day. First of all, I'm like this. I'm one of them people. If you ain't say shit then, don't say shit now. Don't try to spray everybody else because your life going down the drain. I mean, how old are you? If I'm not mistaken, Suge might be like 40, 50 years old. I don't know for a fact. I don't keep up with him. For real, for real. Do he even rap? What this song do Suge sing or rap or whatever? Like, what? Do it seem like to me? It seems like to me people trying to solve the Tupac situation more than the Biggie situation. It seemed like they always tried to find out more about Tupac and Biggie, which me personally, I like Tupac more. I listen to 2 of his songs versus Biggie. I'm not really a big Biggie person. Yeah. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna say what happened, what he's saying happened with Akon is true or is not true, because I believe that old saying when you hear people say the industry has a lot of secrets. I believe it. I believe he done seen a lot of shit. I told y'all all the time. I've always believed that people know who actually did it to Tupac and Biggie. You see, not too long ago when that guy got arrested, being connected to Tupac, you see a lot of people it seemed like it had ruffled a couple of feathers because they starting to figure some shit out. And I believe in this lifetime, we're going to find out who did it to both. But I do believe when that day comes, a lot of people went on to the afterlife. So either way, it's not going to make any difference because you got to think about it. Both of them was gone before I was even born. Look how long ago that was. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like time has already passed by. Okay? Like I said, I'm not going to say if it's true or it's not. I'm not going to say Akon wouldn't do that because I'm like this. Unless you know a MFer, you don't know what they going to do. Because I don't know about nobody else. I watch the crime channel. You see people come out there all the time saying how they knew this person so many years and they would have never thought they were capable of doing whatever. You don't really know people like you think you know people. Even if you lay with them every night or been around this person, I don't care, 40 years, you hear women say all the time. I was watching a story. Sometime they had on reruns of the Oprah, when she used to have that TV show. And I used to love Oprah, even in the 6th grade. I remember when she used to come on when I was in the 6th grade. And I used to love Oprah, right? And I remember this one story where this lady was saying how she was married to her husband for 50 years and she didn't know he was gay. And she would say how he was into pegging. To me, to be honest, I felt like that right there should have told her something. I don't know. I don't know what other bigger sign did you really need than him liking stuff in his behind. Because if he like it cold back there, from my understanding, they cold. If he like it cold back there, he definitely likes it warm. If you know what I mean. Like, the cold is nothing like the real thing. So if he like a cold one back there, what makes you think he not gonna like a warm one with veins that can really, you get what I'm saying? So she said she never really thought anything of it because she knew that the G spot was back there. So she just felt like she was pleasing her man. So he had a real big time job. She wasn't working. I said to myself, you probably knew, you just felt comfortable because he was taking care of everything. But anyway, so long story short, she said sometimes he would go on them business trips and he would be gone a long time. And it just seemed like he was scratched out back there even more. I said, mm-hmm. So I said, you said it was a business trip, right? I'm saying that to myself, right? So nonetheless, she was saying to herself, well, maybe he has one in his duffel or, and she said she would notice at one point it just looked like it was a big sinkhole back there. And she said, enough of this. It was starting to disgust her. So, she said one time he came in and they sat and ate dinner and stuff. And, she said usually when he come in, you could tell like he was ready to, go to work. Like he was ready for her to be ready. And she said, no, babe, let's sit and talk, and stuff like that. So he knew something was up. She said she didn't take the hard approach, right? She just sat down with him. I'm pretty sure some of y'all might remember this episode. And she said, she took the soft approach, how was your day? How was your trip? He was talking back. And she said out of nowhere, she just asked him, she said, can I ask you a question? And he said, go ahead. And she said, are you gay? Plain and simple. And he responded, yes. Yes, I am. And it was funny, but I'm pretty sure it was something hard for him to do, knowing that he'd been with this woman all these years. They had 2 girls together that were grown, So the moral of the story, it was, Oprah, for the most part, she used to have 2 stories whenever she would do them type of segments where she would have people on saying how they was with this person for X amount of years. Sometimes it would be the dude was out here murking people and the wife didn't know. So that was the thing. Okay. So more of the story, sometimes you could know somebody for a long time, but you don't really know them. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, for the people out there that say, well, Akon not that type of dude, we don't know. Sometimes people are good at hiding who they are. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think I read somewhere, I could be wrong. Allegedly, Akon has many wives. Allegedly, okay? I don't know if it's true. But the reason why I say that, because obviously he likes a lot of women. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily means what Suge is saying is true. If Akon like a lot of women, I don't know. Okay. But I will say this. Like I said, I'm not gonna say it's true. I'm not gonna say it ain't. Because sometimes people are good at hiding who they are. Now, I'm not gonna say Akon didn't give them girls some hush money. Enough money, like for example, let's say they did do it. For example, okay. Who's to say they didn't say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give y'all 50,000 a piece. Keep your mouth shut. I heard stuff like that go on in the industry all the time. I don't know if it's true or not, but who's to say he didn't? I heard $50,000 to us is like $5 to them. That ain't shit to them. So who's to say they didn't do it? And again, I feel like this, Suge, if you been new, this why you ain't say shit. Don't try to, take the attention off of you and put it on them. We don't hear Akon business all the time like talking about it. Whatever he over there doing, I tell you what, we don't know much about it. We heard stuff about him every now and then, and for the most part, is he bought a new this or a new that. Like, we don't hear too much. We don't hear too much. So other than that, I tell you what, if we do hear little stuff here and there, it ain't nothing like the stuff that we done heard about you. Okay? Now, like I said, that don't necessarily mean Akon is a good guy, because he could be good at hiding who he is. He could be very good at it. There are people out here that are very good at keeping their business to themselves. We know people like that. Come on now. So other than that, like I said, I ain't gonna say what Suge is saying is true. I ain't gonna say it's false, because we don't know. But I will say this: Suge is a bad person, in my opinion. He's a bad person. He likes to put his hands on women. He doesn't mind keeping secrets. And when I say keeping secrets, I'm not talking about keeping secrets, if you know what I mean. I mean like keeping secrets that, okay, I put it to you like this, and I'm about to get up off here. Y'all see how it took him that many years to, let's say what he's saying is true, right? For example, let's just say it's true. Let's say Akon is the type of dude that's just really good at keeping secrets, right? And let's just say what Suge is saying is true, for example. Okay? You see how many years it took him to say something about something like that? So, how many more years is it going to take for you to come out and really tell us who did it to both of them? Tupac and Biggie. Y'all, I believe he knows. I ain't even gonna play in y'all face and say, well, maybe he don't know. I think he does. I think he does. But as we all know, every bully is scared of somebody. We all can say, I ain't scared of nothing, nobody, none of that. But we all know every person is scared of something, even if it ain't nothing but a wasp or a bumblebee. Like me, I'm scared of wasps. Okay? If I see a wasp, I won't even go that way. Okay? I don't like them. Alright? So, everybody is scared of something. Okay? Something. Okay? You hear people say, I'm scared of being broke. I'm scared of shut the hell up. Trying to act like you something. Look, let me tell you something. Okay? I believe he knows. I believe he does. But I believe he's scared if he say something, they'll send somebody in there. Because I heard people get effed up all the time in prison. All it takes is to pay the right guard, and they'll make sure it happens. All right, so that's how I feel about it. I feel before Suge closes his eyes, he gonna tell it. I feel before he closes his eyes, he's gonna tell what happened to Tupac and Biggie. Watch what I'm telling you. Maybe I could be wrong, but you see how he sold Akon up the creek. I believe before he closes his eyes, he gonna drop a lot of secrets. Watch. And like I said, I ain't gonna sit here and say all of them ain't true or not. I just feel that way. I believe he knows some stuff. Just because he's a villain, we can't automatically say everything he's saying is a lie from the pits of hell. I believe all them did dirt. All of them. Just saying, Biggie, Tupac, all on. I believe all of them did some dirt. All of them. Diddy did a lot of it. And Suge ain't the only one that did some dirt out of all them. He just up front with his. I say 80% of his, he's up front. Now imagine the stuff he ain't up front about. All of them. I believe all of them that did some shit. I don't care much for Dr. Dre. Hell, I ain't even like to see him in Straight Outta Compton. The only reason why I watched is because my braider had it on when she was doing my hair. And I can't tell people what to have on on their TV in their house. But I was saying to myself, I really don't feel like looking at Dr. Dre because I just don't like to look at people that I know for a fact put their hands on women. Because I know how it feels to be a woman going up against a dude. Ain't shit funny about it. Okay? And the scrimp of a man is not no joke. Okay? So I ain't even want to look at him, to be honest. Now, I do like that song with him and Eminem. Y'all know me, still some OG. I do have that on my playlist. I can't help it. But I know how to separate the music from the artist, but I still don't like to look at them. But anyway, that's how I feel. Like I said, I'm not gonna say it's true. I'm not gonna say it ain't. We can't automatically say just because it's Suge, everything he's saying out his mouth is alive from the pits of hell. I believe some of it is, but some of it ain't. And that's just how I feel. I don't know if Akon did it. I'm not gonna say he did. I'm not gonna say he did. Okay? Like I said, I do believe a lot of them industry people, did they shit. I'm just, I believe they done paid a lot of stuff to go away. I heard stuff like that go on all the time in the industry. They pay people to go away. And not like paying them to fall off the earth. I believe some of that happens. But I believe they tell them, hey, I'll give you this. Don't speak on it. You know what I'm saying? How much you want? They say that man, $50, $60,000 to them ain't shit. They say they spend that in a club in one night. That ain't nothing for them. So think about it. If that ain't nothing for him, why wouldn't he mind doing it? Anyway, that's how I feel.